वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी। ॐ अज्ञानातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथं वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदां सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णहस्ते श्री गिरिराजाय स्वामी सुभक्तारासदे हरिभ्यं भक्तिवेदांतस्वामी। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णहस्ते श्री भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी मुखं करोति वाचालं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम्। This hotspot is on. Yes. So we are reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, Transcendental Knowledge. So we have text 41. Oh, okay. All right, I thought it was 40. Okay, text 41. Oh yes, 41. So we read about the potency of knowledge. So as a blazing fire turns firewood to ashes, O Arjuna, so does the fire of knowledge burn to ashes all reactions to material activities. Why do you think that knowledge burns to ashes all reactions to material activities? Why would that happen? Because we're going to act properly, right? If we have knowledge, proper, and meaning knowledge that penetrates the heart, not superficial knowledge I've heard and comes out, they say right here and comes out the other, if knowledge has actually get settled in the heart. And here in Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, instructions is being given how to act, right? And the first thing is that we chant. All right, chanting, okay? The first instruction, and we are reading this about yajna, and Prabhupada had told us, the yajna for this age is chanting, right? So, in this world, there's nothing so sublime and pure as transcendental knowledge. Such knowledge is the mature fruit of all mysticism, and one who has become accomplished in the practice of devotional service, okay? Practice of devotional service meaning Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, and so on. Enjoy this knowledge within himself in due course of time. So, Shraddha, to satsanga, to bhajana kriya, anartha nivriti, nishtha, and so on. So gradually. So a faithful man who has dedicated to transcendental knowledge and who subdues his senses. So we have knowledge, result of knowledge is that we attempt to subdue the senses. Is eligible to achieve such knowledge. And having achieved it, he quickly attained the supreme spiritual peace. So, in India, usually, like people, they were quite self-controlled. Usually, they they don't. That's why they're quite peaceful and well-behaved, because they had faith. The upbringing is like that. Actual upbringing. So now, because we are start to break all negative principles, and therefore we are no longer peaceful. Like it's just from my side. I'm just saying this. Like this indigo thing happened, right? And if the same thing would have happened 20, 25 years ago, people wouldn't have reacted the same way. And that's why, maybe they took it for granted that, people are peaceful, self-control, etc. And such a chaos won't happen. But because we saw, when we first came to India, we saw how peaceful and patient people were. I mean, on the train, it's quite an experience to travel the train, the way people were just patient. Others who are not from India were very impatient, but they were amazingly patient. So now things have changed. So no longer able to subdue the senses from both sides, right? So therefore it's becoming a great misery. So we don't study Bhagavad Gita, or rather it was just natural. It was just in the natural meaning, it was just like the way society was. So like we would think that, okay, it happens, something happens, okay. Bhagwan ka marzi. I say, no, it's your fault. Right? So it's your fault. I have to go and bash you. Right? And others also, they take advantage of this. That people are peaceful, don't revolt, right? So they take advantage of this. Anyway, chalta hai, it's okay. But so from both sides, this subduing the senses is broken. Anyway, so those who are taking advantage, right? They're thinking anyway, these are Indian people, they will adjust, right? Everything be okay. But no, it was violence, right? So it's all on that principle of not subduing the senses. But ignorant and faithless persons who doubt the revealed scriptures do not attain God consciousness. They fall down. For the doubting soul, there is happiness neither in this world nor in the next. Text 41. Yoga sanyasta karmanam jnana sanchena samshayam atma atmavantam na karmani nibadhananti dhananjaya. One who acts in devotional service, renouncing the fruits of his actions, and whose doubts have been destroyed by transcendental knowledge, is situated factually in the self. Thus, he is not bound by the reactions of work, O conqueror of riches. One who follows the instruction of the Bhagavad Gita as it is imparted by the Lord, the personal Godhead himself, becomes free from all doubts by the grace of transcendental knowledge. He, as a part and parcel of the Lord, in full Krishna consciousness, is already established in self-knowledge. As such, he is undoubtedly above bondage to action. Okay, now let's read this again. So one who acts in devotional service, so meaning that each and everything that I'm doing it because I know I'm part and parcel of Krishna, and I'm doing my work. I'm doing my work in that line. Understanding that I'm part and parcel of Krishna. So it's my duty. I'm supposed to do this, right? So let's say, I have taken up the, the work of flying people, right, from one place to the next. So if I take it that this is my duty, I have taken up this work, this is my duty. So it's an act of devotional service, it's my duty. Renounces the fruits of his actions. So meaning he's doing it, we're on text 41. So we're doing it out of duty and knowing that this is my service to Krishna. I will do it with complete responsibility, right? Renouncing the fruits of his actions, meaning that he knows they're going to be up and down. Whatever work we do, there is some trouble involved, isn't it? Anything that you want to do, there's labor involved, but we do it diligently because I know this is my duty. And whose doubts have been destroyed by transcendental knowledge. So, meaning that, what am I gaining from it? Right? Usually we work because I want to know what will I get from it. So here, if we are thinking that, no, somehow or other I'm in this material world, now I have taken up this type of work, I must do it to the best of my ability, and I should, meaning, of course, it is with sense control, meaning I should take up service only as much as I'm able to do, right?
Yes.
Right? If you're a businessman, right? You expand only as much as you're able to manage, right? You don't like grow and grow and grow and then you make false promises to people, right? This is mode of passion. People are ready to give, you take, and then you can't fulfill, right? So this is mode of passion. So one who acts in devotional service, renouncing the fruits of his action and whose doubts have been destroyed by transcendental knowledge, meaning that you know what you're supposed to do, and you know also destiny has already assigned you what is your due. All right? Like some people, they will work little and they will get huge. Why? By destiny. And some people will work hard and they will get very little by destiny. All right? And whose doubts have been destroyed by transcendental knowledge is situated factually in the self, meaning that person has understood who he is. And so he's just doing his duty. Thus, he's not bound by the reactions of work. Oh, conqueror riches. Okay, so Dhananjay. Dhananjay. So, meaning that uh, Arjun, don't worry. Don't worry, you're very opulent. You'll fight this. You will remain opulent. You're not going to lose. Don't worry. So he's not bound by the reactions of work. So remember, what is the theme of this chapter?
Transcendental knowledge.
For what?
For self-realization.
Yes, and therefore, what's the whole issue with Arjuna now, which is the knowledge that's being given in Bhagavad Gita? What we're dealing with? What is the main, what we're dealing with?
On the karma with dharma.
Yeah, the whole thing is that how that there is no karma in my work. Because Arjuna said, no, I'm not going to do. Right? There's heavy karma in this. I'm not going to do. And Krishna is teaching how to do your work and there be no karma. So here this text is saying, thus he is not bound by the reactions of work. Atmavantam na karmani nibbadhananti dhananjaya. Nibbandhananti. You're not bound by the reactions of your work. All right? So each and every one of us, this is not just for Arjuna, it's for everyone. That's why we are studying Bhagavad Gita. How to work so that there is no karma bandhan in each and everything that we do. So it's a practice. It's a day-to-day practice. It is a conscious living. Conscious living. I was just hearing one lecture. I think Sachida Maharaj, his class. So he was describing how, this one man in Govardhan. So, simple man, we hope he always remains simple. A simple man, so he was walking. And when he was walking, he was stopping and he was bending down. Then again, he was walking, he was stopping and bending. So finally, this one person asked him, one devotee, what are you doing? So what was he doing? He said he's on his way to the city, to the market. We go to the market. So he doesn't want to waste his time walking from his home to the market. So what was he doing? He was carrying some sugar and some other things, and he was putting in the ant holes.
Feeding the ants.
You know that,
Yes.
right?
It is a daily karma you should.
Hmm?
It is a daily karma you should provide food to the non-living, living people.
Yeah, so people, that's their training, right? Something that we never knew about. So, This person is so conscious, a simple man in the street, right? That was his upbringing, that I'm not the only one who exists. You also exist. And all jiva, they exist, right? So this is a major problem right now, that I believe only I exist and the rest of the world do not exist. Text 42. Tasmadagyanasambhutam Ritstham Jnanan Sinatmanaha Chitvenam Samshayam Yogam Athishta Bharata. Okay, you read?
Tasmat, therefore, Ajnana Sambhutam, born of ignorance, Ritham, situated in the heart, Jnana of knowledge, Asina by the weapon, Atmana of the self, Chitva, cutting off, Inam, this, Samshayam, doubt, Yogam, in yoga, Atistha, be situated, Uttistha, stand up to fight, Bharata, O descendant of Bharata. Therefore, the doubts which have arisen in your heart out of ignorance should be slashed by the weapon of knowledge. Armed with yoga, O Bharata, stand and fight. Purport. The yoga system instructed in this chapter is called Sanatana Yoga, or eternal activities performed by the living entity. This yoga has two divisions of sacrificial actions. One is called sacrifice of one's material possessions, and the other is called knowledge of self, which is pure spiritual activity. If sacrifice of one's material possessions is not dovetailed for spiritual realization, then such sacrifice becomes material. But one who performs such sacrifices with the spiritual objective or in devotional service makes a perfect sacrifice. When we come to spiritual activities, we find that these are also divided into two, namely, understanding of one's own self or one's constitutional position, and the truth regarding the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who follows the path of Bhagavad Gita as it is can very easily understand these two important divisions of spiritual knowledge. For him, there is no difficulty in obtaining perfect knowledge of the self as part and parcel of the Lord, and such understanding is beneficial, for such a person can easily understand the transcendental activities of the Lord. In the beginning of this chapter, the transcendental activities of the Lord were discussed by the Supreme Lord Himself. One who does not understand the instructions of the Gita is faithless and is to be considered to be misusing the fragmental independence awarded to him by the Lord. In spite of such instructions, one who does not understand the real nature of the Lord as the eternal, blissful, all-knowing personality of Godhead is certainly fool number one. Ignorance can be removed by gradual acceptance of the principles of Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is awakened by different types of sacrifices to the demigods, sacrifice to Brahman, sacrifice in celibacy, in household life, in controlling the senses, in practicing mystic yoga, in penance, in foregoing material possessions, in studying the Vedas, and in partaking of the social institution called Varnashram Dharma. All of these are known as sacrifice, and all of them are based on regulated action. But within all these activities, the important factor is self-realization. One who seeks that objective is the real student. Of Bhagavad Gita. But one who doubts the authority of Krishna falls back. One is therefore advised to study Bhagavad Gita or any other scripture under a bona fide spiritual master with service and surrender. A bona fide spiritual master is in the disciplic succession from time eternal, and he does not deviate at all from the instructions of the Supreme Lord as they were imparted millions of years ago to the Sun God, from whom the instructions of Bhagavad Gita have come down to the earthly kingdom. One should therefore follow the path of Bhagavad Gita as it is expressed in the Gita itself and beware of self-interested people after personal aggrandizement who deviate others from the actual path. The Lord is definitely the Supreme Person and his activities are transcendental. One who understands this is a liberated person from the very beginning of his study of Bhagavad Gita. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to the fourth chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of transcendental knowledge.
So Krishna concludes. So Prabhupada makes his summary of this entire. So therefore, after that spoken, again, a sacrifice is different people, how we can sacrifice. So Krishna is saying that if you will do this, then there will be no karma, and then therefore the doubts which have arisen in your heart out of ignorance should be slashed by the weapon of knowledge. All with yoga over the stand and fight. You mean that spiritual warrior, right? Whoever is sitting here, whoever is studying this Bhagavad Gita, they are actually being equipped with the weapon of knowledge. Right? It's a weapon. Knowledge is a weapon. Shastra, like astra, right? Astra, shastra. You are being equipped with the knowledge so that you can overcome the cycle of birth and death. Right? So that we don't perform sinful activities and we don't fall down. We don't talk about it. Horrors of this world. Don't talk about it. That cancer. Small, small, teenager. And then she told us to confidence and repeating in public. So she told me that sometimes she feels that this is some relative who has come back.
Some relative?
Some relative, this child, some relative who has come back. Or some karma in the family. That was there and that's why all this is happening. So like karma comes in different ways. And then she told me something that happened in the family. And it got really into that. So she told me that one worker somehow steals something, stole something. And the person, the head of the family, what he did, he blackened his face and then he burned his child for him. He
Blacken his face and
and then run his, the Buddha power, whatever we have.
okay,
He ran that
over him.
Over the family member.
That person, the worker.
It happens, ma'am. I have heard autistic and other problematic children who are born. They come to teach their parents something. That's why they are born to them. I've heard that thing. Those who are handicapped, autistic children or those, they come to teach the lesson to their children. When you don't take the responsibility properly, then it happens. Yeah. So these people come and teach a lesson to you how humanity works. Yeah, ma'am. I've heard that. Yeah.
Whether it absolutely and came back now, it's like you're 71, maybe you're going to the 70s. Still taking care of the baby, a child, you see a family capacity, she'll never take a child in some orphanage. Another friend also, she also not be badly beaten. She's still continues. The pain of yeah, so why, it's the laws of nature. So there is some understanding, knowledge, right? And so that I feel that when I discover this child, the child will now have later. So remember, we are doing each other. Right? So can you get that? Kaliva is a very sad, very sad movie. Very tragic, actually. Very tragic. So, okay, we start chapter 5 now.
Yeah. Shall I read?
Karma Yoga, action in Krishna consciousness. Karma Yoga. Arjuna Vacha.
Arjuna Vacha Sannyasam Karmanam Krishnam Sannyasam Karmanam Krishnam
Punaryogam cha samsasi.
Punaryogam cha Shanshashi Yaccheya Etar-rekam Tanme Bohi Sunishchitam. Arjun Vacha, Arjun said, Sannyasam, reunification, Karmanama of all activities, Krishna, O Krishna, Punha again, Yugam, devotional service, Ka also, Cha, oh sorry, Cha also, Samayasi, you are praising, Yat, which, Shreya, is more beneficial, Ekta Yuk of these two, Ekam one Tat, that me unto me. Bruhi, please tell. Sunistam, definitely. Sunischitam. Okay, definitely. Arjun said, O Krishna, first of all, you asked me to renounce work, and then again, you recommend work with the devotion. Now, will you kindly tell me definitely which one of the two is more beneficial? Purport in this fifth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that work in devotional service is better than dry mental speculation. Devotional service is easier than later because being transcendental in nature, it frees one from reaction. In second chapter, preliminary knowledge of soul and its entanglement in the material body was explained. How to get out of this material engagement by Bodhi Yoga or devotional service was also explained therein. In third chapter, it was explained that the person who is situated on the platform of knowledge no longer has any duties to perform. And in the chapter 4, the Lord told Arjuna that all kind of sacrificial work accumulate in knowledge. However, at the end of the fourth chapter, the Lord advised Arjuna to wake up and fight, being situated in the perfect knowledge. Therefore, by simultaneously stressing the importance of both work in devotion, in action in knowledge, Krishna has perplexed Arjun and confused his determination. Arjun understands the recognition in knowledge involves cessation of all kind of work performed as sense activities. But if one perform works in a devotion service, then how is work stop? In other words, he thinks that sannyasa or renunciation is knowledge and should be altogether free from all kind of activities, because work and re- renunciation appear to him to be incompatible. He appears not to have understood the work in a full knowledge, in a reactive, and is therefore the same in inaction. He inquires, therefore, whether he should cease work altogether or work with a full knowledge.
Okay, now see, it says, this kind of Krishna saying Arjuna, you should work. Okay? And second, you should be sannyasi. So what do you want to do? So sannyasi means somebody who doesn't engage in material activities. Because if you do some work, like your business, your family, etc., etc., these are all, karma bandhan. So he said, no, you should not do all this. Right? You should not entangle karma bandhan. And then Arjuna Krishna saying, now he concluded chapter 4, so now you have to learn Nayuta to get up and fight. So Arjuna said, why you want me to act? And then all you so that karma yoga was like understanding how the result of work, how we get this. Don't be attached to the result of work. Just do your duty. And now here Krishna is pulling Arjuna to a step higher. He's saying, do it for me. It's not just to evade the result of work, but do it to satisfy me. Text 2. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Shri Sannyasa Karma Yogascha
संन्यासकर्मयोगश्च
Nishreyasa Karabhu
निःश्रेयशकरावभू
Tayostu Karma Sannyasat
तयोस्तु कर्मसन्न्यासात्
Karma Yoga Vishishyate
कर्मयोग विशिष्यते. Shri Bhagavan the personality of Godhead said, Sannyasah, renunciation of work, Karma Yoga, work in devotion, Cha also, Nishrayesha Karau, leading to the path of liberation, Ubhav, both, Tayo of the two, but Karma Sannyasat, in comparison to the renunciation of fruitive work, Karma Yoga, work in devotion, Vishishyate, is better. The personality of Godhead replied, the renunciation of work and work in devotion are both good for liberation. But of the two, work in devotional service is better than renunciation of work. Purport: fruitive activities seeking sense gratification are cause for material bondage. As long as one is engaged in activities aimed at improving the standard of bodily comfort, one is sure to transmigrate to different types of bodies, thereby continuing material bondage perpetually. Srimad Bhagavatam 5.5.4 to 6 confirms this as follows. Nunam pramata kurute karma yad indriya pritaya apornati न साधु मन्येयत्ता आत्मानोऽयम् असन अपि क्लेशदा अस देहा पराभवस्तावद् अबोधजातो यावन्न जिज्ञासत आत्मा तत्त्वं यावत् क्रियास्तावदिदं मनो वै कर्मात्मकं येन शरीरबन्धः एवं मनः कर्मवशं प्रयुङ्क्ते अविद्यात्मनि उपाधियात्मने प्रीतिर्या यवन्मयि वासुदेवे न मुच्यते देहयोगेन तावत्. People are mad after sense gratification and they do not know that this present body, which is full of miseries, is a result of one's fruitive activities in the past. Although this body is temporary, it is always giving one trouble in many ways. Therefore, to act for sense gratification is not good. One is considered to be a failure in life as long as he makes no inquiry about his real identity. As long as he does not know his real identity, he has to work for fruitive results for sense gratification. And as long as one is engrossed in the consciousness of sense gratification, one has to transmigrate from one body to another. Although the mind may be engrossed in fruitive activities and influenced by ignorance, one must develop a love for devotional service to Vasudeva. Only then one can have the opportunity to get out of the bondage of material existence.
Let's take this first section. So this is from teaching of Bharat Maharaj. Bharat Maharaj, he taught his sons, Rishabdev, King Rishabdev, and he is incarnation of the Supreme Lord. So he taught his sons, 100 sons, and the main son is Bharat Maharaj. So he said, number one, you should know that this body is the result of our past activities. And whatever suffering we are undergoing, it is due to the result of our own work. Right? Cumulative effect of all our works. So this is number one. And this body is temporary, but it gives so much trouble. It's temporary, right? So much care we have to take of this body. So many people have to combine together just to take care of your body. Right? From the day you are born, so many people have to feed you, bathe you, take you around, educate you. So many things they have to do. So this body is temporary, meaning all that you are investing in that body one day will pack up and die. Right? And you putting in all your time, energy, money, everything. Therefore, to act for sense gratification is not good, meaning actually you are insane. Nunam pramata kunte vipratu. Pramata meaning they're mad. So why are we wasting so much time investing in this body which is temporary and which is in so much trouble? Therefore, to act for self-gratification is not good. So, as it is, the body is already a failure. And you're putting your time and energy in something that's bound to be failure. But you can be successful when
You take the devotional service.
if you inquire about the absolute truth. Your real identity says here, we should jigyasata atma tattvam. We should inquire why all this work? Why all this work? What is it for? So therefore I should inquire, there should be atma tattvam. So as long as he doesn't know his real identity, so he's thinking that I only have to feed the mouth, right? And this mouth is how long do you want to feed it? Your whole life is only to feed it for eating. And you have to work only to eat. So many people, they are not working, let's say they're being fed, isn't it? Yeah. Right? We just describe all those people who are from handicap, this way, that's still they're being fed, right? So is it that our life is only about working to feed ourselves, or is it that we can enjoy self-gratification? You enjoy only for one moment, right? And then your whole life is suffering. So, as long as he doesn't know his real identity, he has to work for result of sense gratification because he doesn't know anything else. The thing is the body. Therefore, all his activities will be meant for the body. If he understands, right, from the knowledge given from chapter 2, 3, 4, if he understands that actually he is spirit soul, he separates, wherein the spot of perfection. Prabhupada is describing how the soul and this body, they are like oil and water. Oil and water never mix, right? And we are working only for one element in it. We are working only for the body, we are not working with the soul. So if we understand that we are soul, then we will turn our attention to work for the soul. And we don't even know we are soul in body, what will we do? Although the mind may be engrossed in fruitive activities and influenced by ignorance, one must develop a love for devotional service to Vasudeva. एवं मनः कर्मवासं प्रवृत्ते अविद्यात्मान्य उपजीव्यमाने. So even though, as we stand right now, we have a tendency to work for self-gratification, but even then, we must endeavor for what? We must develop the Priti-Yavan Mari Vasudeva. We must develop our affection for Vasudeva. Now, why is it that we are doing Buddhist tradition? Why is it that we are forcing people to take books? Like, remember this funny young man and a girl with her name and girl was. So one devotee was trying to distribute books, and at some point he just said, "Madam, you're forcing me. You're forcing me. So maybe you should respect my decision." And this devotee was issuing the books. She continued on and on, and then she was started becoming upset and angry. You were forcing me. And why you're forcing me? Because you're mad. Right? You're mad. Right? Then the unfortunate GT of the creature then how to force you. Right? If you're not forced, what will happen?
We just continue like this.
Yes, you can't escape. So here, Pritena Yavan Mari Vasudeva na Muchante Deha Yogena Tava will never come out from this cycle of birth and death, will always be stuck in the bondage of material existence. So therefore it is the mercy, into the mercy of this creature that he forces somebody to take it. Anyway, so the boy was nothing interested, and this devotee she turned towards the girl who was, this girl was very simple, very innocent, and she was interested, but the boy was pulling her along. And then, just see, Pramata. So he was walking up with the girl, and I just said, give her the book free. I said, give her the book free. This girl was so happy. She was so happy. You know which book I just picked up on the book. I said, which she gets scared and forget you can give her a small book. You know? She was just so happy. She took the book. Right? You don't know when a soul can get awakened. Right? So book distributor shouldn't be shy. Should tolerate the criticism of others. Right? Why? Because people are mad. We ourselves are mad, right? Parents, don't you force your child to do things? Because you force your things that he didn't or she didn't want to do? So did you not force your children to do things that they didn't want to do? Right? You have to. So here the instruction we should do. Priti Nayaran Mani Vasudeva. We must develop priti, an inclination. So in chapter 4, so many stages of developing that priti was described. Maybe you just worship the devas, maybe you just go on pilgrimage, maybe you're just sitting and listening on the brahmachari or the householder, maybe in relation or you're a yogi, whatever it may be, somehow or other, you must develop a priti for Vasudeva.
Therefore, jnana or knowledge that one is not this material body but spirit soul is not sufficient for liberation. One has to act in the status of spirit soul. Otherwise, there is no escape from material bondage. Action in Krishna consciousness is not, however, action on the fruitive platform. Activities performed in full knowledge strengthen one's advancement in real knowledge. Without Krishna consciousness, mere renunciation of fruitive activities does not actually purify the heart of a conditioned soul. As long as the heart is not purified, one has to work on the fruitive platform. But action in Krishna consciousness automatically helps one escape the result of fruitive action so that one need not descend to the material platform. Therefore, action in Krishna consciousness is always superior to renunciation, which always entails a risk of falling. Renunciation without Krishna consciousness is incomplete, as is confirmed by Srila Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.258. प्रपंचिकत्या बुद्ध्या हरिसंबंधी वस्तुना मुमुक्षुभि परित्यागो vairagyam falgo kathyate. When persons eager to achieve liberation renounce things related to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, thinking them to be material, their renunciation is called incomplete. Renunciation is complete when it is in the knowledge that everything in existence belongs to the Lord and that no one should claim proprietorship over anything. One should understand that factually nothing belongs to anyone. Then, where is the question of renunciation? One who knows that everything is Krishna's property is always situated in renunciation. Since everything belongs to Krishna, everything should be employed in the service of Krishna. This perfect form of action in Krishna consciousness is far better than any amount of artificial renunciation by a sannyasi of the Mayavadi school.
Now, so this jnana, that I'm not the body, that I'm soul, is not sufficient for liberation. Why? Why? Because if we just cease to do any work, right? We just stop doing any work, we will again get attracted to doing some work. We stop working, right? We just stop. And then we don't know when again we may do something and it may not be proper. Because you cannot stop working. So here Krishna is saying that you should do what is natural for us. So as long as the heart is not purified, one has to work on the fruitive platform. One has to work on the fruitive platform because you don't know in the heart there is so many stocks of desire. And someday you say, no, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do it. But you don't know when someday you fall in bad company, right? You fall in bad company, you don't know what will happen, right? So, therefore, action in Krishna consciousness is always superior to religion. But if you are engaged in a positive way, then you won't do bad things. If you tell somebody just give up, give up, give up, he may give up for the time being, but then his devil mind will start to make him do something, right? But if he's in the right company and you're engaged in service to Krishna, then it's okay, then it's like safe. So therefore, actually Krishna consciousness is always superior to the renunciation, which always entails a risk of falling. Always entail a risk of falling. So it's like I'm rising. So I know I'm not this body, and I know this material world is bad. I know I'm soul. So I'm rising, right? So I say I'm going to stop all work. But I may stop all work at some point, but if some impetus come, I may fall and give up everything. Whereas devotees, those who are doing devotional service, even though they may slip, I'm going to read that chapter 9, even though he may slip, but he will pick himself up again and he would want to do devotional service. Why? Because he wants to taste of devotional service. And he knows what is it. He served Krishna. So this is what is explaining this passage.
Mataji, this line, activities performed in full knowledge strengthens one's advancement in real knowledge. So, knowledge is mentioned 2 times. This paragraph, line number 134.
Action in Krishna consciousness is not however action in the fruity platform.
After that,
Okay? Activities performed in full knowledge strengthen one's advancement in real knowledge. Meaning, the more we engage in devotional service, the more we become self-realized. The more I can eager. That's why you can see, those who have survived being in this movement, right? It's because they have done something, and the more they do, the more they become fixed. The more they become fixed, and they say they want to do, so their understanding becomes more fixed. Is it okay?
yes.
So the more you do service, the more you become strong in your understanding, and therefore you will continue to do. And you won't be tempted to do other things. You won't seek company of people who are sense enjoyment. So as long as why? So what happened? Without Krishna consciousness, mere renunciation of fruitive activities does not actually purify the heart. Conditions, meaning you're still sitting with everything in the heart, everything is sitting there. But externally, artificially, you stop working. Say, no, there's going to be no karma.
But desires are always there in heart.
Yes, desires are there. Externally, stop working, but actually, inside, the desires are there. So one day will pop up, and then what will happen? So this is very important. Okay? So renunciation without Krishna consciousness is incomplete. So the Mayavad, they say everything is Maya. So we give up everything. But Rupa Goswami is explaining that no. We give up, what do we give up? We give up those which are not favorable to Krishna consciousness, and we accept anything that is favorable, even though it looks material, like we are using, this mobile, that is very risky, right? So we are using it because we think and we find that it's favorable to Krishna consciousness. So we use it. Whereas the Mayavadis, I don't know whether they take mobile, they take mobile or not. I'm not sure. Right? So many things. So we give up everything. Whereas the devotees say, no, they will use it. Right? If you're using Krishna says, then the Mayavadis somehow, right? So all over the world, everybody's taking mobile. They didn't start saying, let me have mobile, right? But they didn't know to do it. So when he gets it in his head, he will fall. Because on that, mobile slowly starts coming back. everybody knows it's, it's very hard. It's very important. Please, let's start here. Another section we start. Anyway, one thing to do. This knowledge is secret knowledge. It's very difficult to understand, right? And Prabhupada's grace, the Acharya's grace, that they have explained very systematically. And our Guru Maharajas, all those who have studied, they have taught us that today we are able to teach, with anybody, whoever comes forward to learn, we are able to teach. But we have to be very serious. With that help, Prabhupada, these speaking people keep coming, asking questions. So he's answering. And then he says, what will you learn? What will you learn? Come and join us. You join our school. Come and join us. You learn. See, that's something that we just learn by, sometimes I'm a guest. You can't be a guest. You have to be a student. Prabhupada is saying again and again. Prabhupada is saying that even though we preach, he said, but actually we want students. This movement is for students. And you can see how difficult it is. Right? So we will learn, we will change our lives, and we are actually students. And then, as we say, the more we learn, the more we understand, the more we know how to act. Because at the end of life, we should be able to cross over. If we can do it so easily,